So yeah, I would like to start by thanking everybody joining this session. So I have said before, we have people from everywhere in the world, including Japan and California. So we're like at both ends, us in between, and of course many European attendees. So thank you for that. Probably this is the first time you will see us in seminars doing this kind of presentation. So I will spend some few minutes trying to introduce the institute and trying to introduce the our center. And afterwards we will start with the program. So for those who haven't seen yet very well the program, I have put in the chat room the website where you can look at it. Okay. So again, my name is Nicolas Mora. I'm working here for the Directed Energy Research Center since about 1 year, more than a year. And well, today I would like to give you a brief introduction to what we do. Let's say this is not the first time that we're doing these kind of seminars. We've been doing this since last year. The first seminar happened probably in June last year. Yeah, it was in June. I thought it was in April. And it was mainly about high power electromagnetics. Then we did another one in September about laser photonics and optoelectronics. It was organized let's say by this center and led by Guillaume, who's also joining us today. The one about high power electromagnetics was organized with Khalifa University. Felix, myself, Chauki, we all participated on it. Then this year, we already had a very nice one about metamaterials and applications in February. And this was co-organized by two centers of the TII. It was the Advanced Material Research Center and the Directed Energy Research Center. And today, let's say we're in seminar number 4, dedicated to electromagnetics in biology and medicine, which is something, let's say, that we are starting to work in. And one of the objectives of this seminar is to foster any possible relationships with us and among you to, collaborate and discuss among these topics. And also to give let's say, a brief overview of what has been happening for the past 30 years. So that will be more the subject of Professor Bayer's talk. And as you see, there are, let's say, different domains that are covered, but our objective here is really to foster this collaboration. There are some seminars that are going to happen in the future. One of them, I'll be trying to lead it. It will be dedicated to the EMC standardization in industries. We will try to make it very targeted to local industries in the United Arab Emirates. I forgot to mention, I'm talking to you from Abu Dhabi. For those who don't know us, I will be explaining afterwards where are we located and a bit about our history. So we're planning to tackle it to more Abu Dhabi industry, but of course it will have to be very global in the sense that there are many things that are happening here that are also happening in other parts of the world. And there are 2 more other seminars on ground penetrating radars for humanitarian activities. So this is more about unexploded ordnance detection and classification, and a seminar on acoustic signal processing, which is a very general purpose seminar. And that one, I believe that the ground penetrating radar seminar will be led by Felix, and the one about acoustic signal processing by Milos. So the TII, what is it? I mean, we're called the Technology Innovation Institute, and for obvious reasons, innovation is our main concern. What we're trying to do here is to become, let's say, the global hub for innovation, and for the time being in the Middle East. So this is something new that has been happening since last year. So we are a public institution. We belong to Abu Dhabi Advanced Technology Research Council. And we have been given this very difficult task of raise up all the talent that is everywhere in the world, bringing them to Abu Dhabi and try to do as much as we can to become, let's say, performant at the technology level and at innovation level in a few coming years. Basically, the task here is to become independent of extraction. So, oil-based economies. This country has given the opportunity to, let's say, go to the next level and become a major industrial partner in the world. So the way they have tackled this is by creating, let's say, this institute, which is composed of, as for the time being, 7 centers dedicated to a number of domains that you can read there. Many of them, of course, related to the security, which is one of our biggest interests. And today it's about biological security, this seminar, and human being security, of course. And let's say that myself and Felix, Chauki, and all the others in this session, I believe, we're more dedicated to the directed energy business. But of course, I believe there might be some others present in this seminar from different centers. We are located in Abu Dhabi, as I said before, and let's say that we have many partners, members in the DERC coming from different countries. So you can see there some points on the countries that integrate this center. So we have people from Brazil, Colombia, and Latin America, many people from Central Europe, African countries. Of course, we have an important number of people from the United Arab Emirates, and so on. Usually we'd like to talk about the gender ratio. So in this center, we are 70 to 30%, 70 male to 30% female, as usually happens in electrical engineering. And in terms of, let's say, the qualification of the people working in this center, 20% is PhDs, about 15% at the master level, and the rest at the bachelor level. We are 70 members today. Last year, when we first had the first seminar, we were about 30 people in June. In September, I think it was a mention again to the number of members. We were around 45. And as of today, we're already 70 people. So this has been a tremendous work. And I'm really thankful to, let's say, our center and all the support services of the TII in letting us build this up. And I think there's still more people to come. So I'm very glad about that as well. I will try to run a bit with what is coming so that we can start on time at 4:30. The direction team, I think you have met them before in the past, for those who have never been here. So Dr. Chauki Kazmi is acting as the Chief Research Officer. And we have a group of directors trying to steer the research in different domains. So Guillaume Matrau, who is dedicated to laser and photonics and optoelectronics, Milos Meriak, who is in electronic signals and acoustics, and Felix Vega and myself, who are working in the electromagnetic domain. So as you can imagine, our main core of business is electromagnetics, of course, but I would say high power electromagnetics. Let's say we're trying to tackle the problem of high intensity fields and high power. And at the same time, we also have groups working in lasers and optoelectronics, and of course, high power lasers, etc., and high power acoustics. So this is more dealing with the sonar and any intelligent way of using waves to listen or to produce some effects at the long distance. We try to relate internationally, and this is just a list of few universities with which we're trying to work together, either by doing PhD programs, PhD projects, or simple collaborations. And here I want to be clear, we're very open to start doing things together with you. And this is one of the reasons why we're trying to do this seminar, is to listen to your research and that you could listen to ours. Probably ours is a little bit too early. We've been only there in the lab for about a year, but we want really to start doing things with you. So at that level, you're more than welcome to write us an email after this session. My email was at the beginning of the presentation. And if you don't manage to come, this seminar is being recorded, and you can also look into our website. We have a very nice talks in the public media where you can also take some of the data of what's happening here, and after that, try to contact somebody else to do things. We are also very active with IEEE, EURC, and as of this year, the ISP, which is the International Society of Pulse Power. We have some scientific production that I would like just to mention some figures. We've been trying to attend the past year to virtual conferences. I don't recall any conference that we were able to come for obvious reasons with the pandemic. We have some papers in journals, and let's say we have already been awarded a couple of awards. And I believe that the presentation that is going to be given today by Fernando was subject to an award last year in your seat. So I really recommend you to have a look to it. Let me finish by talking a little bit about our group. So myself, I work for the Electromagnetic Effects group. Let's say that I'm working together with 4 more researchers. So Fernando, who you will be listening today, you can see there some of the areas where he's active. Gideon, who is more in the area of pulse power, but also coming to this seminar, of course. David, who is working in signal processing and measurements, and Ralph, who is our mechanical engineer and also very, very active in automation. I haven't mentioned here Felix's team, but of course we're working together with them to address the classical problem of electromagnetic compatibility, in which you have a source, you have a propagation path, and a victim. That's the way we usually work with it. And at DERC, we're trying to address the protection of critical infrastructures, especially from high power electromagnetic fields. Let's say that EMC has been working for the past decades to make safe environment for electronic equipment and human beings. And let's say that that will be part of today's talks. But let's say that we want to address the problem of using fields that are beyond those limits. So of course you need to take care of producing very high intensity fields, which is the work of Felix. And my team, we are taking the task of understanding how can we protect from them, and what could be the possible effects of coupling into electronics or other kind of devices. So let's say that this is not subject to electronics itself, it's also a problem of human beings. So what is the exposure of human beings to those fields, and what could be the possible effects, and how to treat them at that industrial level at least. And also, while studying all these effects that you could have, or the improvements that you could do to any infrastructure to avoid any interaction with these fields, it comes also the question whether this can be used for other purposes, like for example medicine, or for example testing materials, or trying to create other applications with systems. So today we'll be talking about mainly biological effects and human beings. So that's also within the scope of what we do. The way we want to tackle this is, of course, I mean, doing research and development. We're also trying to become an education platform in the region, and this is more about raising awareness through seminars like this one, or through seminars like the one we would like to host next year, which is called European Electromagnetics, and any other seminar with IEEE or whatsoever, so that the people know that now in the Gulf there is a partner working actively in electromagnetics, and that they can come here to do either research or any consultant services that we could provide at the institute level, or let's say by partnering with specific institutions in education to do small projects or larger projects, as I already mentioned. So I will just go through a couple of things that we have published here and there that might be related to the subject of bioelectromagnetics. So I don't want to spoil the presentation of Fernando, but one of the things that we've been doing last year was this lens system for hyperthermia. So this is more about combining intelligently the lenses so that you can focus the electromagnetic energy in a single spot, by considering, intelligently the interaction and the change of permittivity of the domain. So Fernando will be talking about that. But there are also some other things that, this is one from the group of Guillaume Abdelatif, Professor Abdelatif, last year published, or I think it was this year, he published this sensor for the strontium sulfate monitoring in seawater. So this was a project that was done for the oil companies who were looking at the problem of the scaling of strontium. But of course, this has a lot of applications in biology, especially to protect drinking water in some cities. So what they did, this is an antenna that will change its resonance frequency as a function of the strontium content. So by increasing the content, in this case, I think this is in oil, you can change the resonance frequency by measuring the reflection parameters. You can identify what is the content in it. Last year, we had also some activities due to the COVID pandemic. So this is more, I would call it HSC related. We were trying to use artificial intelligence to, understand what are the features of the face of somebody, and by using very key features, being able to produce masks that are adapted to each one's faces. So we were trying to work this with Milos, and here we have Juan Galvez, who already left our center. He's working now for the robotics center, but at that time he used to work for Dirk. So yeah, these are all the things that we've been doing in the past year. I'd like to close this presentation by just giving you a glimpse of our laboratory. So this is, I'm actually talking to you from an office that has been rented, because our laboratories are being constructed right now. And I think this is one of the pictures that Chauki showed you last year. This is the place we were trying to build our facility. And what you see here is the plan for the anechoic chamber and the pulse power lab. And this is a small one, which is dedicated to Tempest. So I would like to show you how it is looking today. Last week, we were able to start working in our anechoic chamber, who, let's say, will be able to host vehicles or other bigger things up to 100 tons, and where we can do tests of radiated immunity up to 200 volts per meter, if that might be relevant for the people coming to this seminar. So here you can see the latest pictures of how it is looking like. And I think we're very glad to have you here if you want to do some experiments. We're also open to that. And another picture about our Tempest room that has also been finalized. So this is dedicated to Tempest analysis, which is very, very small signals and very high shielding effectiveness to avoid penetration of external fields or emission outside. But this can also be used for other kind of immunity testings or things that you like to do as well.